dive right into John Wick, Chapter 3, Parabellum, starring your boy Keanu Reeves. Halle Berry makes an appearance. She's introduced to this movie. Let's get right into it, man. John Wick Chapter 3 picks up literally right after John Wick Chapter 2 ends, with basically John Wick being excommunicado out of the entire allegiance, and all the assassins around the world after him with this huge bounty on his head because he killed somebody on neutral property of the Continental Hotel. That is the rule. You break that rule, you kill anybody on neutral soil, you excommunicado, your head is on the pike, everybody coming after you. Chapter 3 starts right after that movie ends, and it starts off frantic. You feel the fear, the anxiety of John Wick as he's running around the city trying to get his last few ducks in a row before the clock ticks and the light is green for him to be hunted. You're quickly shown how many assassins there are in the city. You know, as John Wick is running around trying to handle last minute stuff, random people in the crowd looking at him, looking at their watch, tapping their wrists like, yeah, bro, you got 15 minutes and I'm on that ass. The first part of the movie, I believe, does a very good part of setting that tension, the stakes. They do a very good job of the countdown, keeping you very aware of what the time is and how much time he has left before the hounds are released, essentially. You know, and it's not a lot of time, man. Like, the movie starts and this dude has it's less than an hour. I don't remember exactly, but it's less than an hour. And he has to get his stuff all set up. And if you don't remember, in Chapter 2, he was wounded pretty bad. So he has that to deal with as well. Going into the cast, I was intrigued to see what Halle Berry was gonna bring to the role, because, you know, we don't see Halle Berry a lot, man. Like, nowadays when she do movies, it's these smaller projects you'll catch the trailer and you just be like, I ain't gonna watch that crap. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like, she just hasn't been putting a lot of good roles lately. She was a standout performance in this movie, yo. Her weapons training, her ability to handle a gun, hand-to-hand combat, gun fu, what they call it, fighting with the gun in hand. The way she has these two hyper-aggressive dogs that she can control on voice command, and the action scenes in which it involves her, John, and the dogs fighting bad guys. Yo, that, man, look. That scene alone was lit, man. You got these two people sitting here doing gun fu, and they're sitting here just going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Just expert marksmen, headshotting everybody. But meanwhile, she's whistling and calling the dogs to do other stuff. And the dogs got their own fights going on, taking out bad guys over here. John Wick murdering people over here. Halle over here doing her... Man, Halle Berry, she did her thing in this movie, man. If you ain't seen this movie, like, you're gonna be blown away by her. And if you go on YouTube, like, you can watch some of her training videos. They're just as good as Keanu Reeves. Going to the gun range and they're working on reloading and transitioning weapons and headshotting from 40 meters away and all that stuff. It's... Halle Berry brought something to this work, and I'm very curious to see or if they decide to expound on her character going forward, because they said John Wick's gonna keep on going. The villain in this movie is a guy named Zero, and he has a couple of henchmen called Shinobis. Zero and the Shinobis are basically ninjas, like ninjas in the sense of what you would think of when you see ninjas, just expert martial artists. They excel in the ability of stealth, reconnaissance. Like, they are the kind of people who can come into a room with 20 people and nobody will know that they're in there, and they'll kill all 20 of them before they even realize they're dead. Like, the villains in this movie are probably the best villains we've seen in any of the John Wick movies, as far as a threat to John Wick. You know what I'm saying? Because John Wick, he's a very it shows him fight with his hands and he's slinging people around, but mostly it's shooting people. The villains in these are ninjas. Like, you know what I'm saying? They are expert martial artists in multiple fighting styles. They don't need weapons. Like, they will kill you with their bare hands before you blink. And they were a very big threat to him. They had a lot of cool scenes of them just massacring 50 people. Like, just the three of them. Each one probably armed with a little blade and a sword. And they will go into a room and you would swear an army came in there and murdered everybody. It was just three dudes. Three dudes going there and just wreck shop. Won't even break a sweat or lose breath. Zero is played by the actor Mark Dacascos. I don't know if you're very familiar with him. He's in a lot of martial arts movies, but a lot of people know him as the old host on Iron Chef. Y'all remember him? Alakazam! Like that guy. But yeah, so pretty much he's the villain in here, and he plays the role as the head villain. Great. You know what I'm saying? The ending fight scene with him and John Wick, bruh. From the lighting, the cinematography, the editing, the set choice, just everything, man. It's one of the few times in the John Wick franchise where you really feel as though this dude could really be killed right now, man. Like, he's fighting somebody who's far superior than him in hand-to-hand combat and physical health, everything. You know what I'm saying? Because as we've seen over the course of these movies, John always getting shot. He always getting stabbed. You know what I'm saying? So the other dude is pretty relatively healthy, fighting a beaten, broken John Wick. And it's just like, how the hell is he gonna get out of this? I do have one kind of complaint, and a lot of movies do this. Not just John Wick. This is a running theme that I'm starting to see in a lot of movies, specifically action movies. But you also see it in horror movie genres. Whenever the killer is whenever the killer is somebody like a Jason or somebody, what they tend to do, and you might have noticed this, the villain earlier in the movie is depicted as a cold-blooded, I can kill you in 2 seconds without losing step or stride. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are built up to be just this pinnacle of how the hell is the hero gonna combat this person. Like, they made this man a borderline superhero in John Wick Chapter 3, Zero and his Shinobis, and the abilities of what they were able to do and the way they were able to kill people in such a way that we have not seen in action movies in quite some time. You know what I'm saying? But when they come to meet John Wick, they don't display that same level of ability. It happens a lot in movies. Let me know if y'all seen it before, but that kind of happened here. Like when John Wick fought them, he got the ever-living crap beat out of them. But when you compare to what they did to John Wick, compared to what they was doing to people in the middle part of the movie, it's like, are they pulling their punches? You know what I'm saying? Are they holding back? Because the director and y'all really led the audience to put these villains on such a pedestal, and now they're just like yeah, they kind of a threat, but they're not as much of a threat as you made them out to be earlier in the film. I don't like when movies do that. It's a common occurrence, and when it happens, it's real glaring to me. It might not be to everybody else, but it's glaring to me. The way this movie does end, it does end with a cliffhanger in traditional style by now with John Wick standards. So it is going to be a Chapter 4. I think Chapter 4 is already announced to come out like in 2020 or something like that, like May of 2020 or something like that. So I will say be on the lookout for that, but that's 2 years from now. We all going to forget. So we'll catch the trailer and it will, you know what I'm saying, like refresh our memory then. But all in all, man, like the movie, it was a pretty dope experience, man. It was a pretty dope experience. Like, the number of kills in this movie is definitely anteed up from the first 2 John Wicks. So a lot more people died this movie or are killed this movie by John Wick. The action scenes are still amazing and beautiful to look at. The set pieces where they decided to, where they decided to film are great locations with beautiful lightings that add to the aesthetic of the film. I did feel, which is going to be kind of sacrilegious to say, by the end of the movie, I did feel as though it was maybe a little bit too much action. Like, you know what I'm like? It got to a point to where I was like, all right, we killing some more people. You know what I'm saying? It was like, and it's crazy to say that about a John Wick movie. Maybe you guys might feel that way as well if you've seen it or whenever you do decide to see it. But it was a point where I got a little bit like, all right, I'm getting a little bit burnt on the action scenes now. Like, let's go ahead and wrap this up. But not enough for it to deteriorate from the movie for me. Overall, it was still a really good movie. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a good 3 out of 5 Wildlands. It was a very solid movie. I would definitely rewatch it. Wouldn't mind owning it. So if y'all seen it, man, let me know what you think down in the comment section. Again, like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see y'all next time on the next video. Peace.